here we are, Jim. Another episode. It's episode 7. And you've been
Nice.
on 6 of them. So you are actually the MVP of this fucker. I've been on all of them, but episode 2 is a hot piece of shit. So we don't really need to talk about that. And it's like 30 minutes of me like, that was horrible. But what we were talking about is how like, I think it fits into this show because we got George Scott booking, and he is the most geriatric fucking human ever in history. We will talk about Jim Hurd as well. Ugh. Like, I will give you spoilers. I wrote down the most angry Muppet looking human I've ever seen. Like, most curmudgeon looking person. But on that topic was how, like, you're Gen X. I don't know exactly how old you are, but
49 in July.
yeah, you're 13 years older than me. So there you go. And so I'm 36, and I'm 36, right? Like, back in the day, I remember like when my dad was like in his 30s, like he was a fucking hoss. You know what I mean? He was like in shape, kinda. He was a maintenance man.
He was Arn Anderson.
Quite literally. Like, it was smaller. I would say more like Eddie Guerrero before he got on the juice. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, pretty built little guy. Now people look at me and they're like, "You're 36." Oh my fuck! How was the 90s? And I'm just like, they were fine, And so people assume that like we don't know anything about tech or whatever. Like, these kids are always like, oh well, this is an app. And I was talking about how like you in particular were on the ground floor of this shit, and then I got to be like taught by your generation. I have an older cousin that's around your age, so like, I knew what AOL was when I was a little kid. Like, it wasn't like I fucking just showed up. I might be from Arkansas, but we actually, had a couple of computers in the state back in the day.
AOL became Arkansas Online after
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it fucking fizzled. Good Lord. But yeah, so, and to that point, this is really, I feel like in many, many ways, this whole era around Clash of the Champions 6, which is what we're talking about. Ragin' Cajun. I did want to get that out there because it's very important to me. The subtitles, I really like that.
Oh, absolutely. The branding. It's branding.
Yeah, it's branding. It didn't work out. 6,300 people in the building, but we'll get to that. But before that, I did want to mention the couple episodes before this. The March 4th episode, and I don't know if we talked about this, was a clusterfuck and a half. It was apparently horribly fucked.
We haven't been here yet because basically where we left off was Chi-Town Rumble.
Yeah.
I almost forgot the name of it already. Then we go into the 225 episode.
Please.
And I have week by week notes, brother.
Fuck yes, thank God.
Now, I absolutely admit, because you're at 3-4 right now, so I want to backtrack to 225. If the show opened with Michael P.S. Hayes and Junkyard Dog, again, still weird to me, versus El Negro and Nightmare. I want to talk about this match for 2 reasons. One is, if you go on Cage Match, even Cage Match is like El Negro. as far as they know, that is his shoot name. Like, his name is El Negro. They have no other facts on him whatsoever. But Nightmare is Moondog Rex.
Oh my God.
Okay, I don't know if you know the Moondogs or not. So when I saw he was Moondog Rex, I popped hard, man. I was like, holy shit. And he's so, then in my head, I'm starting doing the math. I'm like, wait a minute. So I saw him 10 years ago. So he's 10 years younger than that. Like, trying to figure out where he is in his genealogy of wrestling. But yeah, he was Moondog Rex. So I just wanted to mention that because of, and there's another match at some point in this WCW era where I believe there's a trios match or a 6-man match back in this era, because trios is way too Mexican to use.
Oh yeah.
So a 6-man match, and I believe every single person, and I think it was against the Road Warriors, every single opponent cage match was like, we don't know. We have no fucking clue who these people are. So I thought that was funny. Okay, so a few other things from 225 just to touch on.
Yeah.
Missy Gilbert and the First Family's out there. Missy has her Gucci bag, and JR refers to the paraphernalia in her bag.
Oh.
And I'm like, bro, is that like, bro, are you sneaking some drug references in there? Yeah, what exact paraphernalia? Okay, They announce a foreign talent inbound. I
Oh.
was expecting it to be Muda. So all of a sudden, when it came out and it was Sheik, I was like,
Ugh.
"Oh, okay, it switched out. We have a new foreign villain. Now we
Yeah.
can go back to like hating Iranians. That's cool." Iron Sheik is not the Iron Sheik I remember.
No.
His mouth is missing a few key players in the tooth department. Um, and yeah, it just gives us a new foreign villain, the Iron Sheik. So, like I said, I was expecting Muda. Didn't happen. Okay. There's Danny Spivey versus a child. Oh shit! Did I go back and watch this promo? Okay, so Danny Spivey versus a child. I loved Spivey's hair. I sent it
Yes.
around in the group chat to see what is this called, and my friend said it's the Bosworth, and I'm like, yeah, it's the fucking
It
Bosworth.
is.
Okay, Jr. gives a huge sports dump during this match, a huge sports dump, and afterwards, okay, Danny Spivey gives what I label here as a yikes promo.
Yes, he does.
Do you
I
have
do
an
remember this.
Do you have an opinion on Danny Spivey's first promo?
I think it's one of the biggest pieces of shit that I've ever seen on TV, and I'm not fucking just saying that.
Okay,
Awful.
high
Awful.
five. Perfect.
Awful.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. I said yikes. I don't know if I rewatched it. I really wanted to though. And then in the Vincent Young era, he is now 2-0.
Love Vincent Young. I don't give a fuck what happened. You know, if I look on like, listen to a Between the Sheets podcast or something and he like killed 8 people. Listen, guys, this guy was
Oh
the
wait,
shit in '89.
no, no, no.
No.
That's a different guy on the roster. Um, Vincent Young, but yeah, Vincent Young is 2-0. So that's the February 25 show. Wanting to glaze over it, I understand, but there were a few key things there. Iron Sheik promo, the big one, and a Moondog Rex if you're an oldie appearance. So
Classy.
that's all we got from 225. Okay, now we can move to the 3-4 episode because we're excited because this string of shows actually has shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like good things. So okay, 3-4 show. Hit what you wanted to hit in the 3-4 show.
Well, first off, I mean, number one was the technical clusterfuckery. So here's, and this will be a little peek behind the curtain. I am a huge like FOMO person about the 80s. I'm so salty I was born in '89. I'll be honest. I fucking everything I've ever seen from the 80s. My favorite shit is 80s music. One of my favorite bands of all time is The Cure, for real.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I saw them like last year or 2 years ago.
God, I'm so jealous of you.
Oh, in the arena of Double or Nothing.
Oh, there you go.
I saw them there. Yeah.
That's a beautiful building, by the way. Every time they would show, like, especially when I was watching Dean 2, they would show the outside. I was like, that's fucking nice, man. I know it was the
I
NHL.
still need to, yeah. We'll get to that show later, I guess. But yeah,
we'll do that for the modern section.
We're both team The Cure. Boom.
Oh, fucking love them. So anyway, I watched the VHS rips on YouTube. I found a really good playlist that has every 89 show, which will be important. I will have to send that to you because, as we all know, from day one, by the way, in the network, this is the shit that I hate about the network. Day one, actually, no, not day one. It took forever to even get to July of '89 on Peacock of the WCW shows. So once we get there, we will have to pivot. And I mean, that's whatever. But either way, so I watch VHS rips because I love it. And every now and then there'll be a commercial seep in. And I love that shit. That makes me feel good. You know? And I did share the Old Spice commercial with you from Sting, which I will put online because fuck, it's horrible. So I'm watching and I notice March 4th is 20 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's no way that's a thing. So then you're telling me, yes. So what ended up happening, I don't know specifically the exact technical issue. However, literally, like, I don't even remember what happens. I think Rick Steiner kills someone and he just like goes to leave and it's just end of the episode. And I'm like, well, that's wrong. You go on the network and it even says right before the episode, the infamous, this is shown in its most complete. And I'm like, okay, somebody fucked up at TBS. So I just wanted to make that a point for all the goofs that want to be like, AEW fucking Collision, they turned it off. This has been going on since the beginning of television. I'm sure the DuPont network did this back in the 50s too. Like, just wanted to like, let everyone know. Now that I did end up watching the network one, and it was the full episode, and this is basically what it was. Samoan SWAT team killed people. That's just kind of what you say about Samoan SWAT team at this time. They killed people.
They did.
Yeah.
I'll get back to the Samoan SWAT team in about 2-3 episodes. But the Samoan SWAT team's awesome. They come in, they kick ass. Like they're just different. They're different than the Fantastics and Midnight Express and all these other teams that look and wrestle the same. They are savages from some island in the South Pacific.
They scream gibberish.
If only there was some clue in their team name of what some South Pacific island that could have been. Sure, we'll get to that. Okay, yeah, 3-4 episode. I don't know if it opens the show or not, but Iron Sheik with the Iranian dumbbells, that was the funniest fucking thing.
Fuck.
That was the funniest thing on WCW TV up to this point this year.
Yeah.
Like him swinging just find a clip of him swinging the Iranian dumbbells. It is the funniest. He's like, no American athlete can do this. And then he goes out there like a fucking circus clown, like doing some weird fucking thing. It's like, yeah, nobody wants to fucking do that, bro. We want to look cool. That's important to us.
I don't know how Matchbox 20 didn't fucking hire him to be in a video. You know what I mean? That's so like mid-90s aesthetic, like a weird old guy in a costume doing something fucking stupid. Like,
it feels like a circus. Like it feels like something you go see at a circus. Like, I wanted to give a quick Sheik bio because there's some weird things. Like they talk about him being a gold medalist or Olympic medalist, and I don't see that in his bio actually. He debuted in 72. He was an assistant coach to the U.S. wrestling team in 72. It says 68 Olympics for Iran. He's a personal bodyguard for the Shah. That is definitely true. From 79 to 83, he was all over the fucking place. Then came to WWE in 83, WWF, and he is the bridge champion from Bob Backlund's long-ass reign to a short Iron Sheik reign to Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania taking over.
Yes.
So that's kind of our background on the Sheik and kind of his life up to this point. We're definitely on the last 20% or last 10% of the tank Sheik at this point.
Yeah. He definitely was feeling good, I'll say, when he's doing the clubs as well. Like you're like, oh, all right. Well, as my dad would say, wired like an 8-day clock.
It's like when your uncle is at a picnic and he has like some weird skill that only he can do. And he's like, can you throw a hatchet backwards? And it's like, no, Uncle Remus, we've never even tried that in our life. We're good. You can just have that skill. You're the family owner on that skill.
Look, Jethro, we get it, okay?
We get it. All right, now I know you're super excited about something from this episode.
Fuck yeah, and that is the next note, which is the debut of the Danger Zone, baby. And I love it. I think this is the debut, and if it's not the debut, it's the second.
It is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
And he puts it over. I love the backdrop. It looks so fucking like middle school art project with the crayon zone on there. Fucking so 80s, early 90s. I fucking love it. Like they knew what they were doing. I'll say this. Like I wonder if for a shoot, because the whole gimmick of the Danger Zone was I buy 3 minutes of time, which by the way is the biggest work ever. None of these are just 3 minutes. All of them are like 5 to 8 minutes, which is fine because it's Paulie and he's great. And he's like, he's not even in his prime yet. He's just like feeling it out. And I love this because this is classic Terror Toys thinking. It's the heels love each other. Doesn't matter why, they're heels. So he's just glazing Ric Flair here. This man should be, and he pleads. This is the best part of this. He goes, Rick, when I have a son, I can't imagine bringing him into a world where Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's the world heavyweight champion. So Rick, please for me, can you win the world title back? And Flair is just amazing here. Got to put him over of like, I like you, Paul. Like he knows who the fuck this guy is before they told him to be on this show. Let's be real. And he fucking is like, I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to do that for your kid. And man, we need more of this.
This is the best Flair we've seen. And it's because Paul E is directing him in the promo and not just somebody to be run over. Paul E is sitting there, like you said, he's friends with the heels. So the opposite of Magnum. where Magnum's over explaining why the face is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Paul E's like, we know who we are. Like, this is why you're doing it. But I wrote down, like, it's Flair as a guest. It's great because Paul E just guides him along. It's like when you're doing that blind obstacle course, and Paul E is just guiding him. And it, of course, Secret Service Jack Victory in the background. Very like Luther for me. Just like, he's just in the back with like this physical comedy of the look of his appearance and just the looks on his face. Wonderful.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I just thought about it. Can you imagine how much better the Yamasaki Corporation would have been if they would have just cut bait and thrown Paulie in that hero spot? I mean, you would have salvaged the whole thing, in my opinion. I think, and this is the weird thing too. It's like, I know it's George Scott, so that's a lot of why that didn't fucking happen. And you think about, like, just had he had a little bit of fucking thought process in what he was doing outside of 1977, that he would be like, listen, Hero's not cutting promos. And we do see later when Muda shows up, he does not cut a promo.
I have a note. I'm like,
oh yeah,
he did something.
So I just, man, that's one of those what ifs. Now, I know we get the Dangerous Alliance, but man, this would have been awesome. Even with Butch Reed, he would have incorporated Butch Reed perfect into that. He'd be like, Butch is our guy. Come on. He would have been like the MJF of the group.
Well, and SST, because they're from a South Pacific island. It's part of, it's part of the conglomeration. Yeah. All that shit. Like, yeah, it was just, I mean, yeah, they took the Four Horsemen. I mean, Jim Cornette was right. He killed the Four Horsemen because they made it to the Yamasaki Corporation and it died.
It never came back to the same strength. I don't even care. Like the 98 shit where it was like the famous Flair return, that even was never where they were. And we just saw their peak end, you know. Even in 88, they weren't there and they were so over. So yeah, this is wild. It's like a weird glimpse into the present of that time and the future, which was Paul E. It was like they kind of passed each other in that moment, Flair and him. That's very cool that they did that.
Yeah, two ships passing in the night. And I got excited for this when I saw the Danger Zone. I got excited for you because I knew you were waiting for it. So we got here. The next thing in this episode is Ricky Steamboat in the most Cosby ass sweater I've ever seen, doing the most milk toast pre-tape I've ever seen.
Yep.
So there's not really much to say here.
No.
Okay. For this time period, who is my favorite character person from this time period up to Ragin' Cajun? Tell me who it is. Tell me who my favorite, who jumps off the screen at me every time. Tell me.
You know, for me, there's a couple because you are a huge ass Asian guy. I know that. Which they are gone at this point, I believe.
They are gone.
God, I'm trying to think, man.
My favorite.
It's fucking Steiner, right?
No. Somebody, I'll give you a hint. We've already shit talked to this person.
Sheik. What?
Danny Spivey.
Oh, okay.
Danny Spivey is fucking magic every time he's on the screen. I told you to specifically watch this next segment closely. Okay, so first of all, I love the Varsity Club music.
It's
when
awesome.
The Varsity Club music, that's the music that should have been playing when the Sheik was doing the Iranian dumbbells.
Yeah.
But I put down crazy Danny Spivey because I believe Danny Spivey makes up the $10,000 challenge off the top of his head, and Mike Rotundo is just roped into it.
That was great.
Because Danny Spivey's like, Mike, yeah, $10,000 if they beat you. And Mike Rotundo's like, what? Yeah, I guess so. Do we still have that Slim Jim money or that spam money? Danny Spivey is my favorite character during this time period. And if I need to sell you on this, I'll have you sold by the end. He is just magic. I said, what is Sullivan feeding these guys?
Yeah.
Between Danny and Dr. Death, these two guys are just doing their own fucking thing in the back, popping each other. Like, yeah, I don't know. They're my favorite. I love him so much. And I hated that first promo. And that's why I wanted to check it, because I wrote down yikes promo. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I think it's the fastest I've ever turned around on somebody ever.
You know what happened too. Kevin Sullivan went, brother, you're the shits. We're going to have to learn. You just got to be you. I think the problem was Spivey was trying to be a character. That's the crazy part. I think he was actually trying to be a character first because he was so wooden and awful and just bad because he was so nervous.
Thank you.
Now he's just
something loosened him up.
He's literally Cape Fear from 95 WWF, Dan Spivey, just without the shit on. And it works. It's like, yeah, you're nuts. This is great. And he is great after this.
Like, he thinks he's a Road Warrior. Like, the way he talks, he thinks he's in the Road Warriors without the makeup. Like, it's just, yeah, I love him. Okay. I don't know who comes out to interview here. It's probably Lex next.
I believe so.
Okay. And I have a question. When did we start calling him Maggie?
Oh, I don't know.
Lex does it this week, and Sting does it, I guess, the next week. Sting and Lex do it in back-to-back weeks. They call him Maggie, and I'm like, when did this start?
I have no idea. It's definitely a rib from the locker room. You know?
That's what I feel like it's some kind of rib. Like, you're too much of a girl to go in the ring anymore or something. I don't, because they both say it, and it's like this. It is a weird, and it just feels. I don't know. I could be putting my own shit on it, but it feels like a weird energy when they call him Maggie. Or like I said, it's just because I'm noticing it all of a sudden.
Right.
But he's not much longer for this world.
No.
But yeah, okay. And an SST wrestles. JR makes it very awkward during the SST matches, and I'll have more examples as we go forward.
I have one in a second, so yes.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah. On this episode,
the 3-4 episode, Cornette and the Midnights. We broke the 4 Horsemen in half. Samoan SWAT team is some island in the South Pacific. I'm like, brother, Samoa's in a fucking name. And this is time for, okay, and also wise in the Cornette in Midnight Express segment, there is a Morton Downey Jr. reference.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he appears at WrestleMania 5 like next month. Morton Downey Jr. was a talk show host. I believe he was based out of New York because I saw him on WWOR not Channel 9. He was a very pre-Springer, very free-floating. But one of the most famous incidents with him is he said he was attacked in an airport, I believe, and they drew a swastika on him. And because he did it to himself in the mirror, the swastika was backwards. And so that is a very famous Morton Downey Jr. event that I recall from my childhood.
Good Lord.
And then I'll stop there, but that was my I have another one later on for another pop culture moment for some references. So but yeah, so Cornette comes out with the Midnights. Bad. It must be another JYD and PSA's match because I said I love that JR is as confused as I am with JYD and Michael PSA's because he seems confused by the matching as well, and I felt like vindicated all of a sudden. I'm like, perfect. Like, I didn't get it either, bro.
I will say this: my little Samoan SWAT team thing with Midnights is Stan Lane's little promo. You remember this? The difference between the Samoans and the Midnight Express is when they're on the beach, they're shaking coconuts out of the trees. We're drinking pina coladas out of those same coconuts. And then he goes further about basically they're just third world and we're fucking us. By the way, everyone remember, they are the baby faces. 1989. 1989, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's so fucking awkward, man.
Woo.
Paul, I said Paul E instigating shit.
Yeah.
So it's Lex, Michael Hayes, and who else is out there?
Lex, Michael Hayes, and wasn't it was it Victory or something? I can't remember the third guy.
You know what it was because I now get what I wrote down. Because I was kind of like equating them with some things. I said that Michael Hayes, he was giving me like OC vibes here.
Yeah.
Just like that cool cat character. Lex is just a flex monkey.
Mm-hmm.
He just stands there, busts out a flex. And Secret Service Jack Victory, I said he's Luther. He's just doing this great background shtick without any mic time. Every
now and then he'll like do the little like ear in the lapel talk thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Like that's why I love Jack Victory. He's one of my favorites, period. Because I was an ECW guy, so I remember him in New Jack. So like to see this, I'm like, oh my God, he was actually a pretty good little worker, you know?
The last Ass Asian match is
Oh.
March 26th against Eddie Gilbert. We'll RIP that, but we'll take Secret Service Jack victory in return.
So here's what I will say, and you will be very upset by this. My birth on March 24th created the death 2 days later of the Ass Asians. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know science worked that way. No, you know what though, man? You know what though? I feel like in the end, it's really our gain still.
Yep, we're doing this podcast right now. You would.
Even though we lost the third match in the trilogy of Michael Hayes and the Ass Asians, like, you know, we'll never have that answer truly. But
he was
it seems like a decent swap. And Mike Rotunda in this episode does his first $10,000 challenge against, I don't know, my uncle. Yeah. And so basically the idea is if one of these jobbers can go 15 minutes, they win 10 grand.
Okay.
That Dan Spivey made up on the spot.
That perfect. Definitely
Wonderful.
Doesn't happen.
Love it.
Because this is the perfect time to bring this up. Am I just fucked up all the time, which is also true, but also, when the fuck did Sting win the TV title out of this?
We'll get there.
Okay, because I'm like, dude, I'm like going through. I might have skipped over a match I shouldn't have or something. Because, like you say, like sometimes you get into that just fuck.
You know what? Honestly, we'll get there. Mm-hmm. But there was some really weird shit going on during the production for these shows. So we'll get there, I guess. But 311, I don't believe I have much, and I think actually 311 might be blended in with 34.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. Whichever, I think it's 311. Mm-hmm. We get Ric Flair versus the legendary Greg Evans.
Yes, that's the move.
We were waiting for that one, and we get a Richard Ross hype video. And I just made this comment. Have you watched the TV or the Netflix show The Residence?
No.
Where it's a murder in the White House.
Okay, I've heard of it. I just didn't know the name.
There's a character. I don't want to, a little spoiler, but there's a character in the show.
Yeah.
And he ends up at the state dinner because he's just out drinking with the Australian contingent. They round them up into a limo. He just goes with them, and he ends up at the state dinner. That's what Hiro Matsuda seems like.
Yes.
He seems like a guy who went on a tour of the TV station and like went to the bathroom, and the tour group left, and he's like, oh, I guess I work here now. Like, he just doesn't have a vibe for anything else at all. Just there. He's just wallpaper. He is not Secret Service Jack Victory. He's not giving me little nuggets in the background.
He's not.
That's all I have. That's all I have up to that point. So yeah. So I'm good for the 318 episode because we have so many good debuts, legendary shit.
Even before the 318 notes, I have what they fucking peppered you when you watched NWA television about the wrestling hotline. And you know what I love about these? They're not only terribly produced. I don't know if you remember these, by the way, but they're like literally... There's no way you couldn't, because when I'm watching these fucking VHS rips, they're literally every commercial break. There's like a 10-second wrestling hotline. And what I love is I know the number because that is 1-800-909-9900. They literally just kept the number and just called it the WCW hotline. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the frugalness, but my God.
Did you call it and see what it is now?
No, my parents shut that shit down, buddy.
It would be, no, I'm saying now.
Oh, I hope it's open.
It would be so cool if it's just Shivani giving out tips from like 91 or something.
There's like a dingy office in the old CNN tower that just, for whatever reason, there's an answering machine that just keeps rolling.
You know, another commercial set that you might be seeing at this point that will seem really nowadays is like 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Yeah.
1-800 like dial, where it's like you had a number to dial from a payphone to call long distance to somebody else. Like, trust me, these are good old days now. Trust me, people.
The other one's Western Union. You know, the safest way to send money. Oh, buddy. Yeah, but I love it. You know, it puts you in that time. I think that's what I love about it, because I'm a history guy first, right? So my favorite thing to do is to get enveloped in the time period. I think that's important. And plus it helps me not look at some of these matches so critically, because if you come in and you're watching Osprey and Hanger and then you just come back you're not gonna like it. You're gonna be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Throw a couple like old ads.
it's good. It's good to kind of be in it. Like for me, this is my like it's like my sixth or seventh grade somewhere in there, and so hearing the references, and there'll be one coming up in this episode with Wade Boggs and Margot Adams, which I'll cover for us because it gets referenced a few times. But yeah, just the pop culture references and just to get them and say how do you just swing that one into this episode? That's a fun game to play for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what makes this shit fun. That's where we're going to be once we get into like, sadly, way later, like, 93, 94, when I got into it. So years from now. But that's my like soft spot. I'm like, fuck, I love that. But yeah, March 18th, pivotal moment in the history of wrestling. Because finally we have the debut of the great Mota. Yes, Mota.
Okay. Is he Mota here or is he Muta here?
JR doesn't care. He doesn't know. He's the most xenophobic person ever in this fucking moment.
I believe they went. I believe the first episode it's Muta, the second episode it's Mota, and then he moved it back to Muta. So that's how I have the timeline chronology. But I might have missed it the first episode too. But that was how I had it. But yeah, Muta showed up. I wrote down, has the xenophobia just been like a pre-planted story this whole time for why we hate the Japanese? And now Muta has shown up. And I wrote down Matsuda did something. I was excited about that. Yeah, he did like something.
That's true.
Like he said more than like a word. Okay, so there's another SST match.
Mm-hmm.
And JR cannot tell them apart.
No, I remember this.
And I'm like, they don't really look alike.
No.
Like, I mean, kind of. Like, they both have, like, curly, dark hair, but even the hair is, like, not even like, the same color. Like,
is much thinner and taller. Let's be real. He also does not look exactly like his fucking brother, man. Come on. Let's
No, JR's like, how am I supposed to be able to tell these two savages apart?
Wow.
Like, it's so fucking weird. It's so fucking
into the savage shit for sure.
Yeah, we'll get into like once the next episode comes around. It's a big change for us. Okay, yeah, because this must be the second episode where he gets called Maggie. Because I think this is the last episode we'll be seeing Magnum.
Yes, it is, and poor Magnum, man. It's like and here's the good part though. At least he stays with the company because he does come back later. Everyone, early 90s he does like the Eagle's Nest shit again. For whatever reason, Bill Watts was obsessed with that. I get it. I like it. But yes, this is the last Magnum. You know what? I was very hard on Magnum. I know maybe an episode or two ago where I was like, he's fucking the shits. He's not the shits. He's actually pretty good. It's just, I mean, who are you going to pick? Michael Hayes or fucking Magnum TA? Come on.
I don't think he was very good, but he was put immediately on the big stage. It wasn't like, kind of a sub brand that he kind of started on. And so he was kind of thrown into it. And as a wrestler, it's about me.
Yeah.
And when you're an announcer, it's about them. And for somebody to be able to make that change, he wasn't able to make the change as gracefully as a Michael Hayes can.
For sure.
But we're not there yet. We're not there to the Michael Hayes era. I don't know where the Wade Boggs mention comes up here. I think it might be a danger zone. So Wade Boggs gets mentioned, third baseman for the Red Sox. There was a scandal. There's a scandal came out. He had a paramour named Margot Adams, and it kind of became this big scandal that he was cheating. I don't remember like why it was such a big deal because like an athlete cheating on their wife is like not necessarily revolutionary. But I don't remember what else was in the story, or maybe she was selling the story or something like that. That could have been it, like selling it to the Inquirer. But we get that background for that pop culture moment.
Wow, I've never heard that. But, you also have to remember, I would imagine that a lot of that's, the religious rights still kind of there. Bush Senior's the fucking president now. So I wouldn't be shocked that was such a big deal back then.
Yeah, because we do get our Ranger Ross debut.
Oh, my God. Actually, I want to say something before Ranger Ross because he's so non-consequential to me. And I don't know if you know this name, but I want to mention, and I'm starting to do this just on my own because I'm a psychopath and I feel like I have to complete all this like it is important. However, So I'm starting to watch some syndicated TV around this time as well. And on
Okay.
Worldwide and Main Event, they start a segment with a guy that a lot of people that tape traded would know about because he had the famous Pedicino block of TV in Atlanta. Joe Pedicino begins the Joe Pedicino Knows segments where he basically just supplements the local promos from back in the day with Crockett. They do away with
Okay.
those. So he in it, and it's awesome. Pedicino was the man. He's got kind of like the southern drawl, but not so bad. And he's fucking charismatic, and it's cool. And there's a moment where there's a fucking unhinged Sting and Luger tag promo where literally, and I'll put this up because I did fucking rip it off. They're just fucking zooted. I mean, they are zooted. And you know what you're saying? Luger's fucking just sitting there flexing, and Sting's like, we're gonna wrestle. You're the two dogs. We're the two big dogs. Because they're like wrestling Barry and Flair still. And I'm just like, holy shit. And you got like Joe Pedicino like, all right, so we're gonna be back with Main Event.
Anytime a microphone is put in front of Sting, it is as wild as a microphone in front of Danny Spivey.
It really is.
They were sharing the same supply because it's just unhinged, maniacal shit. Like we need to get you talking to a therapist. We need to get you on some meds.
I want to know how did Sting end up like actually really good at promos? Like right now, I'm like, all he is the larger than life character in ring right now.
He's, you know what? He is very like from that era, right? That's like the Bart Simpson, Cowabunga. I think we even kind of get that like in a later promo. It's like the start of the Simpsons. You know, those bright colors, that like loud surfer vibe. And so like you can see him like kind of catching that, but there's something else supplementing his performance that is just like making it like all over the place. But it's entertaining, man. Like I'm always like entertained by it. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. So anyway, from something entertaining to back to Ranger Ross. Yes, he does debut here.
Yeah, it was electrifying. He did a jump over the top rope, and they act like this like the most amazing thing ever. JYD kind of little brothers him, I think, on Danger Zone, kind of takes him under his paw. One thing I did right here, no bone talk.
Yeah.
JYD did not talk about bones here, and I was damn proud of him.
Great, Paulie just to his face, just like, fuck you, you know? But I'm a pussy still, so let me back away when you get mad. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I think a fun thing here, right, is we get our first antagonistic angle on the show.
Yeah.
Is Paulie in the Danger Zone, and the next week we get another swipe of that antagonism.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know if that's So I don't know if that's I don't know if that is mirroring. I mentioned it last time. Now we have the faces have the big titles, and maybe now that's why you bring in the heel announcer, the Danger Zone pitch to pump up these heels so they're more credible as a challenger for these faces. So I don't know if that's connected or just happened to work that way, but it's pretty brilliant.
Oh, it's so brilliant. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I know now he's a knucklehead and he says stupid shit, but you always have to remember, and I think this is important for everyone to remember, and I know especially our little corner of the internet, and we love it, and I love it, and I think it's great, but you got to always remember that not everyone's on board, right? Not everyone's going to see it the way you do, and I think there is an element of that where you do have to understand that, and you have to in some ways respect that too, because from where Heyman's coming from, you know, he's from the old school, right? Wrestling was not political like it is now in this level of just, there's activist watching now. You know what I mean? Like people are trying to hack the systems with watch times.
I mean, not calling it political with the way we're talking about the Japanese, the Samoans, the Iranians, the Russians is kind of crazy.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is there wasn't pushback. You know what I mean? There wasn't that level of... So to him, he, for one, doesn't give a fuck. Trust me. I can just tell by watching Paulie my whole life. He don't give a fuck. So if you try to come at him with that... And what I'm trying to get at is this. Like, I think we need to be able to separate the art from the artist. And I know that's a very heated thing in wrestling, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people like that, right? But I think if you're going to look at this for the art, which I try to, right? Like I look at this for, this is my artistic like thing I like. So, you know, Michael Hayes is a piece of shit too, right? But we're going to talk about how great he is here in a minute. I mean, fucking Luger literally facilitated Miss Elizabeth's addiction to the point that she passed away. All right, folks. So there's a lot of shit out there, and probably your favorite wrestler's done something. And all I'm trying to say is, go ahead.
Oh no, you finish.
Just that I think we need to like focus on the true pieces of shit, right? And we know who they are. They're being indicted and everything else right now, and flipping and all that, right? I want them to get actual justice they deserve. And sometimes I think we get upset by the way people say things, and we think that that is a crime. And it can be. But if it's not, let's kind of just pump the brakes on that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to get overboard to where the things that are important get lost.
I think it's also really weird with wrestling, especially if you're looking back in this time. But the kayfabe, real world crossover, like everything's so weird that I can't hold anything again. Like people were mad, Gabe Kidd spit on Willow the other night, and I get that, but I also get that Gabe Kidd is such a fucking douchebag. Like that's the hard thing to be able to go. It's like no, it's just like in a film. Like it's just you're acting. It's what we're doing. And to kind of also go with that, one of our greatest modern philosophers, I believe his name is Big Damo. He said a lot of wrestlers are fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And so I just try to keep his words in my mind and just realize a lot of wrestlers are fucking dumb. I think modern day are a lot better because they take better care of themselves and their extracurriculars are not the same as the old day extracurriculars. So I think hopefully we'll see an enlightened wrestling core go forward. But back in these days, it was just crazy people doing crazy shit.
Absolutely. Like Dick Murdoch and JYD in a trios with Steve Casey. That's fucking insane. What was George Scott smoking, bro? That was, I had to write that down because I was like, really? Steve Casey's getting the rub now? What the fuck?
Yeah. I have something on Steve Casey at some point down the line.
Yeah, because he does come back.
We get our great Muda debut. So that's exciting. We get, and so was this a show the whole time? They were hyping us up for Luger and Michael Hayes versus the Wyndhams.
Yes.
Okay. Before this, though, because they probably ended the show. Before this, we had Snake Brown versus Ricky Steamboat.
Oh god.
But I haven't. This was either I wasn't sure if this was 318 or 325.
I don't remember. They bleed together.
Okay, so it was one of those two shows. Snake Brown, who was like a pretty interesting character, like visual performance-wise. He had like a Bruiser Brody kind of aesthetic. So Snake Brown versus Ricky Steamboat. It's Snake Brown's second match in NWA.
Wow.
His previous match, he lost to Sting Knight's 2 nights previously. So this motherfucker is in the company for 2 nights and gets to fight against the world champion. Like, what? and then he's like gone like a month later or something. Like it's just so weird who gets these title matches.
It's nuts.
But yes, that's one of the shows. And then Luger and Michael Hayes versus the Wyndhams. I believe they're hyping this up the whole damn show. The match is from March 12th. And basically it exists for us to see the Michael Hayes heel turn.
Yes.
And they've been hyping it the whole damn show, and it lasted 5 minutes and 16 seconds.
But God, was it good? This was good.
Oh, it's good.
Like,
you know what?
Man.
The difference between the live matches and the studio shows, like it does make you want to go, oh, I need to see this live because these crowds are very amped, very into it.
Yeah.
And so they really should have done that. They do start doing it more, it seems, during this period. I don't know whether that's through scheduling issues or whatever, but we get to see a lot more live show matches. And I think as an audience, that's like great because it's normally people we want to see more so.
Oh, yeah. And I want to make a really important point here, too. This was in Atlanta, in the Omni, Michael Hayes, Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. This could have actually like not worked. And the fact that, Michael's so good. And another guy, by the way, not a great track record, right? Big piece of shit now. But let's call a spade here. Michael Hayes was the fucking man at this point in time. I mean, he really was so good. Not the best wrestler in the world, but he would tell you that, I'm sure. But he was serviceable. He could have a good match, and his fucking promo and character work was second to fucking none. And the way he does this, and I didn't sell out. I mean, it was so good. The Yamasaki Corporation, I bought in, like that kind of thing. I mean, this was so good. He made Hiro Matsuda look good. I mean, Jesus.
He was Michael slap a Jap Hayes.
Oh yeah.
He was talking about how he would never sell out, and then they sold out. And so you know what, beautiful, because we get to this 325 episode, and the course changes because we lose Maggie. Maggie leaves us.
Maggie's gone,
and we get Michael Hayes added to commentary, and it's exactly what we've been talking about. It's those frictioning forces creating a more exciting product for us. Because Michael Hayes is there, and he's such a scumbag. He can find a justification for every scumbag move. He would have found a reason for Ricochet stealing Zach Allen's leg. You know what I mean? Oh, he was taking it back to the back to polish it for him. Like, Michael Hayes can find any scumbag justification for anything a heel does. And that's what we need to hear in the show. We have to hear the other side. So, wonderful. All upgrade.
So good. Another one between TVs, I think Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner get the tag belts. Like, what happened here? I don't know if this is out of order, because I swear to God, they win them on the Clash. What the fuck is this? Yeah, it's very strange.
I swear I saw it somewhere.
It's weird, man.
Or maybe it just blended together because had them as a non-title match. Because it was the next show gets confusing.
Yes,
and that's where things just start getting confusing. I don't. Oh, it happens in this. It happens. Yes.
Okay.
It's this show.
Okay,
we'll go through it and I'll show you where it happened.
Oh, you're right. It's footage from the Omni show, correct?
Because it's so fucking stupid.
Okay, that's why.
So early in the show for us, they say, oh, and we have new U.S. Tag Title champions, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner. Okay, so they've spoiled the match for later. Instead of, hey, let's check out this match and have some drama to it. You know what? Fuck it, we're hitting it now.
Yeah, we might as well.
Instead, they show the match and have Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert doing commentary over his own match of kind of what was going through his mind at the time. Like I said, never mind you took away the drama and suspense of, who's going to win. Now, Eddie Gilbert's doing commentary over his own match. It's like so time zone, like things are so weird. Even like where they're like, tonight in Atlanta, and you're like, wait a minute, it's night, but I'm watching this show at home, and this guy's going to be in Atlanta. Like, it's weird, like the time zones and time warps that happen. But yeah, they showed it on TV like the last 2 minutes of the match or whatever.
Well, and that I will say this, there is precedent for it. That was the famous way that Florida Championship did their matches as well. Gordon would sit down with the one that I remember vividly is Terry Funk when he won the world championship. I believe it was in Tampa. So it's happened, but at least they were more transparent about, we're going to go to footage from the arena. You know what I mean? It was cooler because this was just a fucking disjointed mess. And it's clear that they did it this way because they just didn't have any other option, right? Like wait, hold on. We did change the belts. Well, fuck. Now we got to do something on TV. That's the difference. That's why it's just, I don't fucking remember. Swear to God. Don't even remember that happened.
Yeah, no, yeah. It happened. It was just kind of thrown into the show and they spoiled it up front.
Yeah.
Which was just such a fucking weird move.
Oh.
One thing I did like here was the Yamasaki Corporation was finally defined.
Yes.
It's the Wyndhams, it's Hacksaw, it's Michael Hayes, and it's Flair. Like, that's okay. Okay, cool. I've now got in a box who the corporation has purchased.
Yeah.
But I said, if all those people, all five of them appear together, a plague falls upon all their houses.
Yeah, it never happened. I don't think it ever.
It'll never happen. It never happened. Yeah, if you come together, it's like the streams crossing in Ghostbusters. Yeah. Like,
well, it's got to be soon. Well, not soon, but soon after like everything we talk about on this episode, that we get the formation of the JTEX Corporation, which finally is just Gary Hart running shit, and it's well, we won't spoil things, but it's Muda and another guy. Spoil things from 36 years ago, but either way. So yeah, there's that too, and it's just such a shame because this really Hayes is also great, right? Maybe he just sold it so well. How he's like talking about everyone said you couldn't get all this talent together, and one man did, Hiro Matsuda, and I'm like, wow, he's really putting Hiro over. I almost think Hiro's important. I mean, wow. And then I remember, Michael's just important.
It would have been funny if Michael was just like, I'm a translator.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, we get another Danger Zone.
Yes.
Okay, so we had Ric Flair. Then we had like Luger, Michael Hayes.
Yeah.
This week we get Cougar J.
Big star, notable so far for being the first guy to lose to Muda.
Okay, yeah. You're in the history books, my friend. Okay, so Cougar J. Okay, this is the March 25th episode. Cougar J has some screen time in the Danger Zone. Cougar J will be out of WCW. His career actually is done in June.
That I'm not laughing at that, but that is a hilarious way.
Okay, and serious question: why isn't this Vincent Young?
Really? You put over Vincent Young. It should have been. Yeah, I know. That's weird. Maybe
why? It's literally just like Cougar J coming out. I don't know what the fuck he says, because then he gets interrupted by Randy Rose, which we were all clamoring for, the Randy Rose return. So Randy Rose returns. Cougar J, they're like, "Peace out, nerd." And then Randy Rose is like, "I got reinstated for whatever reason." And Paul B's like, "Yeah, so who are you gonna find a manager? Gary Hart? Paul Jones?" He's in front of every other manager, and Randy's like, "You." Yeah, this is charisma defined. Randy Rose and going at Polly.
Fuck. Yeah, not good. And he just keeps putting the fucking piece of paper up like we see anything written on it. He was just like, "But right here, Paul, I mean, I'm reinstated." And it's like, that doesn't change anything. Like,
and again, this brings us back to, why didn't we just get rid of the blackmailer?
Thank you.
It's a loser leaves the thing, and he's back within a month. I hate that shit. I remember they did it the one time where it was like Cena lost to Nexus. He had to go, and they literally just like ignored it the next episode. And I was like, I wanted Juan Cena, masked luchador, to come in for 2 or 3 months. Like, that would have been fire. You got to have the balls to be able to execute that.
Only Dustin.
Okay, Ric Flair gets a segment. And I just wrote down, Ric Flair explains what a rematch is.
Yeah. Fuck.
Because he's like, "Steamboat, we got a rematch. And what that means is you have to go 1-on-1 with a Nature Boy." Ooh. Yeah, we all know what a fucking rematch is, Rick. He understands he has to go against you in the ring. And he does it again like the next week. I'm like, motherfucker, we know what it's match. With re in front of it means match you're doing again. It's simple, man. We all went to second grade, But yeah, he comes out and does one of those. He doesn't have Paul E guiding him on a course to coherence. That's a good one. Course of Coherence.
Course of Coherence. That's a fucking band name, folks.
It probably is. They probably already stole it from us. And then we have the debut of the Great Mota.
Yes, the Great Mota again.
And yeah, I'm like, because we know they may have some spelling errors during this run. So yeah, it's Great Mota. JR's calling him Great Mota. They're going back and forth. That was just weird. Like the whole match, I'm just focused on Mota. We get the hot stuff. Steiner winning it. Just a bizarre way to present it. Okay, the Varsity Club comes out.
Here we go.
Of course, I want to talk about this. My boy's here. Okay, the varsity. No, actually, my boy's not here. Because I have specifically, where the fuck is Danny? So the varsity club comes out, and they have a dude with a fishbowl, and apparently his name's Chip.
Oh my god, I remember this. Yep.
I'm like, who is this guy?
What?
Because he never comes back. I don't know if he like Spivey kills him. You think he's even plays? Spivey killed him and left him in like a Florida swamp or something. But yeah, there's a guy holding a fishbowl, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Who the fuck's this guy with the fishbowl? And then eventually they call him Chip.
Chip.
I don't totally remember what's in the fishbowl. I don't know if it's $10,000 or something.
It was.
Is it $10,000? Okay, so yeah, Chip has the $10,000, and yeah, I am asking, where the fuck is Danny?
Why was it in a fishbowl too? This is the weirdest shit.
Okay, that's so you could see it.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, so it's glass. You get the other way, right? Briefcase. You got to bring it out. You got to hold it up. Chip couldn't handle that shit. Chip can only handle a fishbowl.
Yeah, that's too much work for you, Chip.
Fuck you, Chip.
Fuck.
Yeah. So where the fuck is Danny? And is this? Did Ranger Ross actually debut last week? Okay.
Yes.
So this is our second appearance of Ranger Ross. Have you seen Beverly Hills Cop?
Of course.
He gives me strong Axel Foley boss vibes.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So I wrote that down. Strong Alex Axel Foley boss energy.
Wooden as well, much like
Yeah,
that boss.
he's like, if his swear button was turned up, it would be like the same thing.
Oh,
you know? Yeah.
The fuck, Foley?
See, I got none of it left.
I told you.
Man, but chew my ass out.
Listen, Iron Sheik. Anyway.
Yeah, Ranger Ross, a great addition for us.
I want to say this too, because I don't know the time period, and I mean, you were a child as well, so I don't know if you necessarily know the fucking, geo politics timeline here, but had Desert Storm happened yet?
That's like 91.
Yeah, so this is really creepy because they basically just were like, we're going to fucking start this shit again, and you're just like, that's a weird, that's like one of those weird, when you look back, you're like, I know it's a dumb wrestling thing, right? But like, ooh, that makes the zeitgeist thing feel weird, doesn't it? Like, whoa, did we start just like hating fucking people from the Middle East off of this bullshit?
Yeah, it's just a lot of weird shit when you look at the type of people that ran wrestling.
Uh-huh.
I will say it that way. And so,
yeah, we
see some not great representations.
No, not at all. And speaking of that, and I don't know if you have anything written down about it, we get
I think all I have is for the 25th, I think so.
The All Japan tour footage of the Road Warriors.
Oh.
You have never heard JR be more racist in your life. He is so dismissive of Jumbo Tsuruta, a fucking legend of all time, and Yatsu was very underrated as well for his time. They're showing this like banger match. Like, you've never seen the Road Warriors so fucking good in the ring, by the way, up to this point. So like, they're fucking killing it. They're killing each other with lariats and shit. Jumbo's taking dumb bumps, fucking Yatsu, all this shit, right? Michael Hayes, I wrote it down. Even Michael Hayes was more respectful.
I have that in a future episode.
It's unbelievable.
I have that in the 4-1 episode, I think. So yeah.
Literally every time Yatsu or Tsuruta did something cool, JR literally would either not mention it or be like, wow, that's a heck of a maneuver there. And in fact, there is a dope. Yeah.
And I don't know if it is that hometown announcer vibe, man. Where it's a basketball game and the Celtics announcer, Nick's with a basket. Oh my God! And Jason Tatum with the slight, I don't know if it's that thing where it's like, I'm not putting over the other guys, like other company guys, or like the other guys. And there's like a lot. There's like way too much evidence for us to kind of ignore that during this period.
There is an incredible high knee German combo here that is. I mean, someone's got to make that their finish today. Like, that's how good it is. It's such a good move.
And the thing with the Road Warriors here, when they're touring Japan, we know Japan lays in their shit. And so you get the Road Warriors, hitting the two brick walls hitting each other. That's the good shit right there.
The like kind of bullshit face paint, because clearly they were on a bus. You know what I mean? Like that vibe. I love that shit. And I'll say this too. It made me really like, fuck, do I need to like dive back into like 80s late 80s, early 90s All Japan, and then I go, no, you're insane. You got too much on your plate, and so we move on. Vincent Young and Dick Murdoch continuing their bizarre tag team. How great was this?
Man,
the silence says it all.
Vincent Young, he's pretty entertaining. I like him. But Dick Murdoch, anytime he's on screen, I'm like, I'm good. Like I just don't care at all about Dick Murdoch.
Well, it's hard, right? When you know what you know now. That's one I will excuse, right? Like separate the art from the artist. That's a little too much of the artist in the art.
He was Captain Redneck. I mean, what did we think he like? He is who he is. I mean, like, but like I said, it's just even for me, like taking that away, he's just kind of boring.
Definitely.
It's just a one style. Every match is just kind of the same. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
The only thing I have for the April 1st show is the sad announcement. What?
The only thing you have for the April 1st show?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? Oh, I have a whole full page front and back.
Well, because I knew you were going to do it, and here's why. Because it'll make sense in a second, right? It's the last episode at Techwood. And so that, I think, maybe bummed me out a little bit. And I also was just ready to get to the Clash, I'll be honest. I was like, fuck. Let's get
so there. Okay. And by April 1st show, they open up and they tell us we are getting Rick Steiner and Eddie Gilbert versus, I think they say Varsity Club. I don't think they gave us a specific people.
Yeah.
And we're also getting Mike Rotunda versus Sting.
Oh, okay.
So like,
and that's why.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, well, dang. So like, well, we got two big matches coming up. And they're both champions, so I'm going to assume they're both championship matches. We'll see how that works out for me. We get the debut of Shane Douglas.
Yes, I do.
So that's cool. A really young Shane Douglas, smaller. Before kind of blowing up a little bit. We get Bob Orton.
Yes.
They say during the match he's set attendance records, and I thought what they were talking about was he was at WrestleMania 3, so therefore he set an attendance record. But they really stressed this thing that they had to turn people away from the Omni for some event. And that's I believe that's what they mean by setting attendance records or something. I don't know. They said I thought it was a WrestleMania 3 thing, so I thought that was just funny. There is an Eddie and Steiner promo.
Oof. Yeah,
I watched it. I watched it a second time to see if because I wrote down what is this Eddie Steiner promo ? So I went back and rewatched it. Same fucking question.
It was out there. I do remember that. That was weird. I don't even remember the point.
I can't Rick keeps repeating the same phrase over and over. Eddie is talking about they're just off their meds or on their meds, one or the other. It's just a crazy segment. We get another Danger Zone.
Love it.
I believe we're still getting Moda. I have it written as Moda here.
We are getting Moda. Yes.
Moda. Okay, so and Moda is the son of Kabuki.
Yep, that is a notable. I will say that I should have wrote that down. They do finally tie that loose end up, which is neat. We need more of that now, by the way.
Yeah, tie back. Okay, so he's out there with Paul Jones. Is that who it is? Gary Hart, Paul Jones, Gary Hart. Gary Hart.
It's
right?
Gary Hart. Thank God it's not.
Okay,
Paul
Gary
Jones.
Hart. Yeah, Gary Hart. But this leaves me with questions. I was like, wait a minute. Where's Abdullah? And so Abdullah was only here from January 1st through March 11th. I said, where's Bam Bam? Bam Bam was with 8 different companies between November 2nd and January 17th.
Good Lord.
He's currently in NJPW.
Yep.
And there's a Gaijin reference, which I was interested in how they're going to pronounce that. So, but hey, anything you want to talk about with the Danger Zone?
It was awesome. It's the one with Luger, right? I think.
I don't know. I don't know anybody else coming out during this. I think I was just trying to figure out where all Paul Jones' people Gary Hart's before. I can't get Paul Jones out of my mind, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was neat to kind of see him again, sort of put over the heel guys, right, and kind of be like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too to see Paul E in a often subservient role, right? Like he's not yet the top heel, so he's appeasing the top heels, right? But he's still being Paul E. It's interesting.
He's that guy who is like Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. Like kind of like that scheming guy in the background, like he's the Stephen Miller. Kind of he's in the background. Am I praise? Everybody's gonna dance for me, puppets. That's what he thinks he is. There's Ricky Steamboat gets interviewed with a bad tie, and he gives a bunch of nonsensical reasons for Ric Flair to get a rematch. And they say 2 out of 3 falls hasn't happened since the 70s, since Jack Briscoe versus Dory Funk Jr. And I'm like, there's no way that's true, but I have no way to check that out. So I'll just trust them, I guess.
I believe it. You know what? At this point, it's such a clusterfuck. Whatever. You know, it's like the opposite, right? Like it's so bad that you actually go back around and you're like, I believe you now. It's such a disaster. Like, why not?
We'll get to something later where I'm like, you know, I set a new rule for myself about the amount of time I'll spend searching for something.
Yes.
We get Samoan SWAT team. JR says they're munching on pineapple, I mean. Just sounded weird again. They had a second rope DDT finisher, which is really cool. And
yeah.
And again, you get Michael on commentary justifying Samoan SWAT team's actions against the opponent. So it's just cool. Like you get that naughty voice, the bad angel on the shoulder. That's what we're getting. Good angel, bad angel, right? Yeah, Moda, we see the mist for the first time, I believe.
Yes.
Doesn't use it on the opponent, but we see the mist for the first time. So, but yeah, as a kid, you're like, wait, what the fuck did I just see there? It's definitely intriguing for you because, of course, he's from the Orient. I wrote down here, just kind of because we're approaching close to Clash 6. This is the final show for Clash 6, I believe. And I wrote down, what matches do we know for Clash at this point? And I only had Rick versus Ricky. And then JYD comes out. And I'm like, okay, we have JYD and Butch Reed. Okay, because JYD comes out, Butch Reed shows up. And this is where I said JYD takes Ranger Rick under his paw a little bit. I'm guessing Ranger Ross wrestles then. There's a Pete Rose reference. You got the Pete Rose gambling stuff going down, pop culture reference. Yeah. Secret Service Jack Victory wrestles. I love his finisher being named the Service Revolver.
I love it.
I love that name.
Yeah.
And then we get down to Sting versus Rotunda for a studio match. So it's in front of the studio audience, not live. Danny wasn't here. So again, you can see I'm sad. Sting has Ricky Steamboat and Lex Luger out for support at the ringside.
Wow, yeah.
And I wrote down, Ricky is either so polite or he doesn't care.
Right.
Because he really doesn't. He's like, no, guys, no.
He's
so nonchalant with any kind of defense. Lex is out there like a flex monkey and chasing people away. But Ricky, he has very strong speedball Mike Bailey vibes. Just super polite, humble guy. But yeah, he's just not being at all offensive against the Varsity Club. Sting wins with a roll up. Michael P.S. Hayes says his hands were on the trunks. So again, Michael Hayes is given that heel perspective. Yeah. And Sting wins the title and $10,000.
See, I'm an idiot, and the more you're talking about it now, I'm like, yes, I did watch this. I don't know why I didn't write it down. I think, you know what it was? It was like one of those cram things for me. Mm-hmm. And this will be a perfect encapsulation of why I was a shit student. I was like, the other day, I'm like, I got 3 episodes. I'm just going to watch it right now. Well, the problem with that is now, like what we're saying, everything just bleeds together. And I do remember the match now, and I remember liking it even. It just was short.
I think it's one of those things where if you look at 3 episodes in a row from our last pod versus these 3 episodes in a row, like once Michael Hayes shows up, like Each episode, like important stuff happens.
100%.
So I think that's a different thing too, where all of a sudden it's almost like, oh, I can't just cram, like, oh shit, I have to pay attention. I can't just fast forward through Dick Murdoch versus Steve Casey. All of a sudden, like, it's substantive matches coming on, So, but yeah, man, so that brings us to Clash 6.
Here we go, man. And I got
Ragin' Cajun.
I got a lot of outside information to really set the tone here. Before you even watch this show, you got to know this stuff. So the classic story of this show is George Scott made the decision to have almost zero promotion for this show on regular TV. There was only, like, of what I know of, like 2 references, like the week before the fucking show, that it even was happening. There's like a little bumper that's like, ha ha. But like in the past, when Dusty was booking, you'd see that bumper every commercial break. And you're like, fuck yeah, I got to go see Miami Mayhem. And I got to see, Fall Brawl. Like, there was a reason we remember these things, because they were beat into our heads. And George Scott, being from like 1498, was like, well, that live gate business, we're going to kill it if we just promote the free TV show. Granted, 2 problems with that thinking. This show aired early afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So, like, you're not hurting the show that's going to happen live that night in the building. In fact, in my opinion, if I was going to look at it the right way, I think, promote the shit out of this show, and they will definitely buy more tickets for that live show, because now they're like, oh my God, I just saw what happened on TV. And then you book the show, whatever. What do I know, right? I'm just some fucking mark. But because of this, the Superdome only has 6,300 people in it. By the way, it's worse.
Dome.
Do you know how many of those paid?
Oh God, no.
About 1,400. It was around a $15,000 house in the Superdome, folks, in '89. So, total disaster. Needless to say, this is the last show George Scott booked. He is gone for good reason. For once in WCW's history, this actually is a good firing. It's like, yes, get rid of this moron. So there's
Makes
that.
Sense.
It's also the debut, I believe, of Jim Hurt on TV, doing the weird video leading into the show of all the champions were here, and they're like showing the luncheon they did, and they're all awkward, they're all old, they all look terrible, and they make a point, and I do know they did this on purpose. This was a good part. They like barely show Funk, and you're like, that's weird. He's got a dangly in his ear. He looks pretty dope.
The one guy who I'd actually recognize on sight.
The one guy that was a wrestler even then, fuck him, which he does do color for the main event, which is phenomenal. So there's a lot of stalling here too. And I wrote down, like, was there some weird thing with the opening match? Because there's like 15 minutes before we ever see the Midnights and Samoan SWAT team in the ring.
Okay. It's the same day as WrestleMania 5.
Yes. So
whether they're timing that to coincide with the start of that, I don't, who knows? There's this show is just weird. We'll get through it for a lot of reasons. I wrote down here, what matches do we know? I said, Ricky versus Rick. Mm-hmm. I said, I believe we'll have Spivey and Dr. Death versus the Road Warriors. I said, Ranger Rick versus Sheik. That's a match we had.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure it seems we're having JYD versus him. And so this is kind of like my question is, you always hear the old heads talk about drawing money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? If you don't know who the hell is on any given card,
mm-hmm.
like it's just such a weird concept to me. And I guess I understand the concept of, we named this main event and we pushed 300 more tickets, but we don't know anything, man, about like any of these fucking cards as we go into them. And I mean, some of them, I don't even know if we know the main event sometimes in these cards, because like it's just so like they're so just weird. So this whole show is odd. I mean, our dark matches are 2 title matches.
Yep. Did you notice the worst part of the dark matches? Did you see the issue with them?
No, I'm not sure.
They followed the main event. So imagine you have a 55-minute world title fucking banger. The crowd was there, which we'll get into. And then after that, Sting and Rip Morgan come out. Flair or Luger and fucking Jack Victory come out. Are you fucking kidding? There are also title matches that are dark matches.
But that's the thing is, I mean, we get Great Muta versus Stephen Casey.
Didn't need that.
I'd rather. I mean, I'd love to see Muta, but I want a title match instead. Yeah. Like it's such weird logic for Clash of the Champions.
Right, that's the other problem.
And then I did say once we got to the first match, I said, oh, okay, I guess I knew we also had Midnight Express versus Samoan SWAT team coming too. Sure. So okay, another weird intro to the show, and then now forever they just hired some college interns or something to slap something together on 1970s technology. But first match, Samoan SWAT team versus the Midnights. I love this Samoan SWAT team with the phone gimmick.
Yes.
I love when they're picking it up and they're kind of making a fake phone call, hitting the guys with it. It's great. Like Paul E. in that huge Zach Morris cell phone. Perfect. Did you notice all the tag matches, they were in opposite corners?
Yeah.
Like normally when you watch, it's like the top left and the bottom right. Yeah. And for all these tag matches, they were bottom left and top right. It was just kind of weird, man.
Weird.
JR, I'm sure this is JR, says, this is not show business. This is wrestling. So that's definitely that shot at WrestleMania 5 or whatever there. SST starts punching each other. Love that. Of course, because they're savages and they have hard heads. It is a really nice contrast in styles.
I love this
with kind of that more roughnecking Road Warriors type of vibe, more of a brawling vibe. With the Midnight, it's just much better than seeing that same style against them for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
And I have here, why is Stan fighting so hard? I don't know what that means. I don't know why I wouldn't be expecting him to fight hard, but I have that written down.
He does, man. He actually takes one of legitimately the grossest back suplex bumps I've ever seen. Samu.
Maybe.
Damn. I mean,
maybe that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I even wrote, I was like, it would have made Steve Williams in '93 All Japan blush. That's how good this fucking back suplex was. He did. He took bumps all over the place. I loved how they structured this thing. It was just Stan. It was very odd because Stan's usually the one I would think of that's kind of like the big fucking jacked guy in the Midnights, right? Like he's the fucking karate guy. Like he's legit, which by the way, that is a shoot. He was a karate guy. So they actually isolate him. And we get the hot tag on Eaton. And let me tell you, this was a hot tag for Eaton. I also wrote down he was so fucking good here. I mean, anytime Eaton's ever wrestled, he was so good. But man, like here in this moment with a great other opponent team, he just was fucking there. He's throwing fucking drop kicks like Okada. I'm like, whoa, this rules. Like, it was a good fucking match.
And it's still that weird thing of, okay, so the Midnight Express are faces, right? Like, right. It's still just this weird thing where I'm like, okay, I believe you guys, I guess. Like, you're, being kind of racist, and you still got Jim Cornette with his tennis racket out there. Okay, but your faces, cool. I accept, I guess. Yeah. I'll come along for this ride, guys.
Yeah. And it's, I believe Samoan SWAT win,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
20 minutes we get on this.
Well worth it. That shouldn't have been cut. That was a great opener.
Oh, yeah. That's one that shouldn't be cut. Our next match, we get the Great Muta defeating Stephen Casey.
Too long.
8 minutes and 11 seconds. Yeah.
Way too long.
6 minutes. About 6 minutes too long.
Yeah. I'll say this.
I called.
Go ahead.
Good.
Oh, so I'll just say real quick a regional thing that I loved, because at one point JR said, I'll tell you, Michael, there ain't too many people like Muta in Westville, Oklahoma. And as somebody that grew up about 50 miles from Westville, Oklahoma. He is not kidding. I knew what he was saying when he said it. I went, uh-huh.
I remember that line. Uh-huh. Okay, so apparently Stephen Casey's, he has a nickname, apparently, an official nickname, which is Chopper.
Oh.
Chopper makes me think of chopping powdery substances and everything. Yep. I'm going with a reason for it, right? So Chopper. But I was more like, I was calling him Les Luger.
For sure.
And he's kind of like the fake Diesel for Lex Luger.
Yeah, fake Luger.
Once Luger leaves, you just go, oh, we got Stephen Casey. He's kind of like that, I guess.
Plexi
we do get and this is the match where I say P.S. Michael Hayes is more enlightened than JR.
100%.
100%. We get the mist.
Yep.
And on the opponent, and apparently the referee is just totally cool with this.
Yeah, nothing.
The referee's like, the guy's face is green. What did he do? Puke on himself? So we know how that ends. And then we need to get hyped for Wrestle War 89, which is what we're building towards.
Can't wait, man. This is going to be good stuff. I also wrote, Muta does a fucking plancha to the floor in 1989. I also wrote, this had to have been very similar to what the early 80s fans felt when they watched Dynamite and Tiger Mask. I mean, Muta right off the bat is just leagues better than anybody else. And seeing him pre-wear and tear is awesome. Like, Muta has no limitations here. He's fucking just so light-footed. He's everywhere for everything. It's like, literally, if I was to put together, when I first started watching wrestling, the perfect wrestler, it's Muta. Athletic, but fucking looks cool as fuck. The paint, the mist, the mystery. This is like little boy favorite wrestler, right? Like, there's no way you watch this in 89 and you're not like, this is the coolest fucking dude of all time.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted to be able to do the mist to like their friends, and he was one of those heels that it's like he's a heel, but he's over because he's just so damn cool. And we see that a lot more nowadays, but back then it was a lot more rare.
Yeah, it was. It couldn't happen much.
We get JYD versus Hacksaw, which has a 2.3 rating on Cage Match. JYD's in New Orleans. You know what that means? He's over. And he is. He's super over.
He is over.
Michael P.S. Hayes mentions Uncle Ted. Uncle Ted says Michael Hayes can't get involved unless provoked. So I think that was like the first reference to Ted Turner. And they make a reference to, I know we have a lot of fans in Connecticut, New Haven, Stamford. And they have shows coming up there, but it also felt like a shot at WWE. So I wrote that down, but they also did have Connecticut shows coming up. So kind of just blended together nicely. They definitely mentioned Stamford more than they mentioned other areas of the state. So
yeah,
JYD wins. It was a match.
It was awful. I wrote awful. 10 minutes wasted. We could have had the Luger match here. We could have had the Sting match here. I also said there's a moment where JR said, that band looks like they stayed at Pat O's till close with a half dozen hurricanes. And Hayes immediately says, well, no, I know they didn't because I was at Pat O's till close. And I loved that. Like, he's just like, well, hold on. I'm the real degenerate. Fuck you. They weren't there. I don't hang. And let's be real. The other tone to this is like, I wouldn't be hanging out with them at the end.
Yeah.
At Pat O's. Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks. This was a waste. I feel really bad for Butch because he still had enough in the tank that he could have good matches. Like we talked about how the match at Chi-Town Rumble with Sting was fun and good. This was not. This was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us to your favorite match, I'm sure.
It's sad because as much as I want to love JYD and Hacksaw, it just wasn't there. Well, actually, okay, so the next match is actually Bob Orton defeating Dick Murdoch.
Yes.
If you can locate this on the internet, this has been scrubbed more than like the Diddy videos. It's very hard to find. And I decided I'm not going to spend more time looking for a match than the length of the match. And that's my new rule.
It's also not a match worth watching. Because
it's not inconsequential.
Even the live accounts that I've listened to and read of the match say straight up, you got the best part of the match on that next episode when it's just the finish. It was a waste. It was fucking worthless. So yeah, that's really all there is to say.
But yeah, next match, we get the Varsity Club defeating the Road Warriors for the title change.
Uh-huh.
Wait, No, wait, is that this one?
Well, no. So it is the actual...
Oh, it's the one. It is.
Yes.
This is the one we're missing. Yeah.
Yes.
Because what happens is, if you're watching this on the cock, basically the Bob Orton match, the Varsity Club versus Road Warriors, and Ranger Ross Iron Sheik don't exist.
No,
they don't exist in the world of the cock.
About it.
They're even a little bit difficult to find, like on YouTube and shit. Like you really got to search. Like I thought we found it, and then it was just like a WWE 2K19 recreation of the match.
Fucking dicks.
I'm like, man, like they look weird. So yeah, okay. So we'll go to Eddie and Rick next against the Varsity Club. Okay.
Yep. Your boy Dan.
Yeah, actually, I know. I don't have much written for the match though.
Really, I'm
still focused on the weird tag corners. And yeah, I'll let you talk. I'll let you lead the way, and I'll tag in.
So basically, I wrote down right off the bat, really love the designs for the U.S. tag titles, always have. And more importantly, I wrote, I really wish there was a company today that would do the secondary tag belts. Now, granted, you would have to have a really big, strong tag division, and I'll be honest, I don't think anyone has that right now. But AEW's getting close. They just got to fucking, actually commit. I wrote a lot down. I wrote that Spivey and Sullivan just start kicking the fuck out of Gilbert. I mean, they beat the fuck out of him here. He's getting ragdolled and stuff. And Gilbert holds on. He gets put in the trio. Whoa. Sullivan hits it, and he goes for a second when he gets a little greedy, misses. Steiner's hot tag blew the roof off. This guy was so over at this point still. He comes and he kills Spivey with a Steiner line. I mean, he fucking rips his head off. This was great. At one point, Rick has a pin on Spivey. Sullivan toe kicks him in the face. I don't know how it didn't split him open. It looked nasty. I mean, it's toe to orbital bone. It's disgusting. So while this is happening, there's no tag, mind you. There's no tag whatsoever between Rick and Gilbert here. But somehow in the fray, Gilbert and Sullivan get isolated and the Gucci bag comes into play. Sullivan gets hit in the gut, rolled up. They re-win the belts. I don't know what the fuck happens here. Like I said, there's so much confusion. It's so bizarre. And the angle at the end, though, is great. And at the end, Gilbert gets fucking crucified and they bust him open. It's WCW, so they don't show it, but you do hear JR say they've busted him up. So they hard way him here. Steiner's like isolated somewhere. I don't know what happened there. I did write at the end of it, angle better than match here for sure.
This match is so short, it's not even eligible for a cage match rating. It's 3 minutes and 51 seconds.
What a shame.
And so I think that's probably why I don't have much written down, because I'm like, it just all happened so fast. Yeah. I do love the first family. I love Eddie Gilbert as just that damage sponge.
Yes.
He just takes all the damage, and then you hot tag Rick Steiner, the roof's going to blow off the place. So they really do have a great dynamic there for that team to work. So they attack. Gilbert wins with cheating. They attack Gilbert post-match, and then Rick Steiner comes in with a school chair.
Yes.
He doesn't come with a folding chair. He comes in with like one of those plastic school chairs.
I love that.
So he raided like a second grade classroom to chase off the bad guys.
That ruled. And here we are.
Okay, let's touch on. We didn't find Ranger Ross versus Iron Sheik. Sounds like it was just a clusterfuck match, anyways. And there is varsity, and this is the annoying thing, like how to find it.
Yeah.
Is the Varsity Club defeat the Road Warriors for the title, and I guess we'll cover this in the next episode, not that next episode of the show, because the cool thing here is they do replay these things. So if you can't find them, I'm like, I'll just watch the next episode because I'll probably show it, or at least part of it. So we catch at least the end of that match in the next episode. So yeah, we'll skip that for now.
Yep, we're in the main event, folks. 2 out of 3 falls.
Steamboat Flair.
And it's a shame. I think about 6,300 people in this building, and yet, Flair's entrance is dope. They do misspell his name in the lasers. So WCW. Like, how do you fuck that up? He's your top guy.
Rick.
God. Fucking Teddy. And I put down, because, I'm Arkansan like that, there's a term when you bring your whole family somewhere that you shouldn't, that you bring your whole tribe. And buddy Ricky Steamboat had his whole tribe here. Little Richie in the shitty dragon outfit. Fucking Bonnie, in the ball gown, trying to suck up any attention she can fucking get. We know now she's a fucking idiot. Either way, it was a perfect dichotomy, but I did right here. I wish we would have gotten intense WWF Intercontinental Champion Steamboat on this run instead of softy acting dad version, where it's like, you're so just fucking milquetoast, buddy.
And that's why all his interview segments were just like, ugly sweater, ugly tie. I'm a dad. I'm so boring. Like, it's probably why I don't have kids. Because you just made having kids not seem cool.
Yeah.
Your fault, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, that's why I have this Yorkie whining at me right now. So I did break down the match. I'm thinking about putting the notes up on my Substack because I wrote a shit ton about this match. I got into it.
Yeah, I didn't. It was a really good match. 3 falls.
Yeah.
It goes the typical route of, heel gets the first win, and then got to kind of a battle back from underneath. We get Terry Funk on commentary. So we actually lose Michael Hayes. He's not there at all, I don't believe.
Nope.
JR and Terry. And I'm like, wait a minute. So where's Terry at in life right now? And it seems like he probably just finished filming Roadhouse.
Yep.
And I believe he also may have already wrapped on Over the Top as well, or that may be coming up. So it's like, it seems like he's left Hollywood for a second to kind of come back to wrestling.
Yep.
It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I looked at his IMDb. Do you know who his cousin is?
No.
Billy Bob Thornton.
What? Wow.
That's what it says on his. It's what it says in his and I am the JIMDb. So I referenced IMDb. It said he's cousin of Billy Bob Thornton. So I didn't know that. I'm like, cool. And also, so Terry Funk first announced his retirement in 1983.
Yep.
And he has also won a title this millennium. So he is that kind of a contradiction.
Yes, he is. And that retirement, by the way, one of the greatest matches of all time in All Japan. Him and Dory against, I believe it's Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody. I do believe so. But anyway, yes, he's one of those guys. He couldn't get it out of his system, till the day he passed away, man. Terry Funk was fucking for the business, and that's why we love him. Yeah, man. I broke it up, like I said, in falls. The story of the first fall is simple. It's the feeling out process. And, it is a back and forth situation. I really loved how they put that over, that, Steamboat's there for Flair's chops and he responds in kind. There's so many back and forths. Head lock takedowns is the story of this match, because every time Flair gets an upper hand, Steamboat very geniusly, I will argue, puts him in that headlock and puts him down, but he doesn't waste time with it. It's a reset phase. They use it like in boxing when they wrap up. That is exactly how I can see that they structured this. There is maybe the most beautiful flying head scissors I've ever seen in my life. And even Funk is like, that was perfect. That was incredible. Flair's bouncing around here like a Super Bowl. He literally sells the knees to the head like he got JFK'd. I wrote that down straight up, by the way. He literally gets kneed in the head and he's like, like literally I was waiting for blood to be there. It's not there. It's just a knee. So we're getting
breaking news.
Yes.
Breaking news. Flair hit a crossbody in this match.
Yeah.
He hit a move off the top rope.
We'll get there. And he actually does a lot of top rope shit. We have an O'Connor roll by Steamboat, almost wins it. And in the melee, we get Flair reversing Steamboat's cradle, getting a flash pin. He's up 1-0 here. Right away going into the second fall. He is cocky as shit. he starts just kind of slowing down. He's like, you know what? I got Steamboat here. But just as he does that, he gets gorilla pressed. And somehow he ends up, he tries the top rope thing. He fails that time. Steamboat hits the head chop thing. In the middle of this, though, we're going back to the headlock, right? Back to the headlock. Doing a lot of drop down, get it again spots. These guys are like the fucking kings of that shit. And yes, in the middle of this, Flair hits a top rope fucking crossbody that looked pretty good for a near fall. And it gets rolled through. I mean, we're going a mile a minute here. And then somehow, even though I don't think I've ever seen Steamboat ever use this move before or since, he gets Flair, and I will admit it's pretty dope. And I kind of want a big guy to use this as a finish because I think that's the only guy that could really make it work today. The double arm chicken wing elevated in the air, and Flair's like doing the head thing like, no, okay. He just starts nodding, yup, it hurts. And we're tied up.
You know what? It's weird because I was the same way. I'm like, I don't think Ricky has used this move before. Like, it just came out of nowhere. We're used to, flying body press dude, and he's using the double chick thing. Okay, it looked badass. So it's like, really cool. Did. I mean, like that looked like a fucking hurt my shoulder. I hurt my shoulders watching it.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, that hurts. I wonder if that's like an old NWA Champions finish. Maybe it was Kaniski's finish. I have no idea. It's very odd that out of nowhere he's doing that. So the third fall starts with Flair in a heap. He's just beat to fuck. I mean, he went from first fall, taking over, he's the man, to now he's fucking in the shitter. And Steamboat takes advantage. He's all over him here. And the only thing that Flair can do now is he finally starts getting into that dirtiest player in the game shit. He starts kicking knees out. He starts raking. You see the desperation. And I thought that was a great contrast to the other falls. It's like before that, Flair's kind of cheating. Now, though, it is the impetus of everything he does. He's going after the knee.
He's got to empty the bag of tricks.
Yeah,
I got to use everything at my disposal. I was trying to do it the good way, but now I got to do whatever it takes.
And Funk on commentary is like, you know what? We're basically have to be made aware here that Flair doesn't win this match tonight. It's over. He's not getting a match again for Steamboat. Obviously foreshadowing. So again, Flair is just knee offense. Steamboat is still surviving here. He's chopping the shit out of him. And finally, Flair gets the figure four on. And it is this epic, just dramatic Steamboat reaching for everything he can reach for. Flair's chopping and slapping the shit out of him. And they make the important point that Steamboat responds with the same, much lower energy, much less on his strikes back to Flair. And Flair, again, is in the driver's seat. And then the fans are losing it at this point. They're like, fuck you, Flair. Fuck you. So great on New Orleans for knowing the deal. And even though Flair was way cooler than Steamboat here ever, and they roll into the ropes and Steamboat gets the break, but Flair rolls to the outside, wrenches that knee over the apron. We're like, God damn it. I don't understand. And we get another Flair bump and he hits a crossbody again. Can't get the pin. Steamboat rolls through. He's trying to survive here. He tries a slam, knee buckles, another near fall. It's looking real bad for Steamboat. One of the last gasps he has in this is an enziguri. One of the only 80s North American enzigiris I've ever seen. So that was cool. Throwing a little Japanese offense in there. And Flair is he survives that. He's going for broke here. He gets a little too cocky. He finds himself in the double arm again. And this time they're by the ropes. And they fall backwards somehow. I guess the knee, makes sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Rick's been working on a knee.
Yep.
Leg buckles, falls under.
But here's the weird shit, right? It can't be just a good finish, can it? We have the double pin scenario here, which doesn't look great. I'm like, are they both down? This is weird. So Flair's foot from the beginning is under the rope. Okay. So I don't know how the ref didn't see this bullshit. It's one of those like, Tommy, how the fuck did you not see the leg, right?
You mean 27-time NWA Referee of the Year, Tommy Young? How did he miss that?
Out of 3 in the whole company. Yeah. So he's got his foot there. 1, 2. Ricky rolls the one shoulder up. Kinda, I think.
Yeah, he rolls that shoulder up like an ant can crawl under it, maybe. Like, yeah, it did not look. It was cool. It didn't look good though.
And I'll say this. Tommy grabs that belt and hands it to Steamboat like I imagine Nixon slammed that phone during Watergate. He's like, let's get the fuck out of here. Here you go. Let's get out of here. This mess is just fucked. And that was it. That was the way the show ended. Well, no, the way the show ended was another awful Steamboat promo.
I don't have anything written for it because like
it was bad. I didn't
know nothing.
Terrible. Oh God.
Yeah, and so we'll get to like the other matches, I guess, in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
That happened, but it's just weird that like it's the Clash of the Champions and these other shows are getting pushed back. It's just so. What for that Steamboat promo? Like we could have still got one of these other matches in there. It's crazy.
It's
one thing I said about the main event is Funk was dropping a lot of sports references, and I imagine that was just JR saying, "Listen, get stuck on anything, just drop some sports references." I'm like, I can totally see that being a thing.
They're just a bunch of fucking marks, Terry. Just fucking talk about football.
If you know anything about assistant line coaches from Syracuse University in the mid-50s, it's a great time to sprinkle it into the conversation.
Hey, you want to bring up Barry Switzer? Boomer?
Okay, yeah. So the 4/8 episode, we get Shane Douglas versus Bob Orton. Cool. We get the Road Warrior, Varsity Club, and Sting rip matches from Clash 6. The Sting rip match, nothing much really to write home about. The Road Warriors Varsity Club, that is a screw job ending.
Yes.
Where the Road Warriors hit a doomsday device, but Animal had pushed Teddy Long. Teddy Long hurt his back, according to Michael P.S. Hayes. So he was in the corner. Yeah, and he would not lie. So Teddy Long was in the corner recovering while Hawk was pinning. I don't remember who he was pinning. And then I think Dr. Death walks in the ring. Hawk goes over to confront Teddy Long in the corner. Well, Teddy is, his back is hurting him so bad. Steve Williams, I believe, comes in, rolls up Hawk. And I honestly think Teddy counted 2. But I guess he counted like his landing as 1 because he's so fast and the camera's behind him. So you don't even see the hand hit 1. You only see the 2-3.
Yes.
And they win and they roll out of the ring and Teddy Long's gone. His back is better. So prayers do work, guys.
And I did right. I do believe this is the beginning of manager Teddy Long. And
absolutely, yeah.
He is a fucking national treasure to come.
And what I find interesting though is watching these last 3-4 weeks of episodes, I was like noticing his refereeing and how comical it was. And it's just funny that I started noticing that his referee style to come up to this point where all of a sudden it ends up in a match and he cost the Road Warriors the title. So that's funny.
It's so
we get Rick's lawyer, Dennis Guthrie, comes out and reads a long ass statement. And I don't know if it's at minute 43. I don't know if I timed it and that's how long it was. But yeah, Rick's lawyer comes out to challenge the findings. I never missed sharp Mark Sterling more in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is horrible. Then later on,
Flair, he was awful.
But later on, Jim Herd comes out and he says, "We don't care what Ric Flair or his lawyer have to say. We're giving you a rematch."
Yeah. Oh my God.
And they're gonna have 3 judges. And it's gonna go an hour. Okay, cool. We'll figure out what screw job finish he'll do on this one.
Yeah.
We do get Randy Rose versus Jack Victory.
It was really good. I gotta say that this was awesome.
I wrote down pretty smooth fuck over finish.
Yes.
But yeah. Oh yeah. So that's the one where he kind of hits him in the head with the phone real fast. That was so
good.
Cool out of the view of the ref. Yeah. Actually, it looked good. So Paul, you pulled that one off. That was great. And then we get the finish of the Orton versus Murdoch Classic from Clash 6. So
It looked like a hot turd.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of these episodes are like half the episode is just like highlights from shit that happened on the road or from Clash or whatever. So
fucking horrible.
But I mean, overall, I think this is a better run of episodes than like the last one. And since Michael Hayes got added, it's a different show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a huge grade up.
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely going upward with quality right now, for sure. Business wise, we aren't, but hey, we're not in it for that, right? We're in it for the fucking cool shit, and we're getting cool shit.
I'm watching the show. That's all I care about.
Yeah, Wrestle Wars build looks like it's going to be great, and the big one is, of course, that Great American Bash build. I cannot wait for it because that show is one of the best shows, maybe of all time. That was a great one. So we got some fucking all-time wrestling coming up here. I will say this too about that Flair Steamboat match. The more I think about it, I think the 2 out of 3 falls is my favorite. We will see the Wrestle War match next week, but I liked it way more than the first one for sure, even though it's much longer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They had really good tensions and storytelling, I think, across the 3 different falls to make them each different in their own way and not just the same old over and over.
Yeah. And you know, seeing Flair on the back foot for the first time like ever at that point for a lot of people was neat. It's like, wow, you never see Flair desperate like this, you know?
Well, and it's Ric Flair right without like the backup.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the horseman behind him anymore. He has Hiro Matsuda for whatever that's worth for you. You know, like it's just
human mannequin.
Yeah, it's just a weird phase for him right now.
Fucking weird. But yeah, that's what I have for this. I don't know if you have any other little nuggets.
Nothing else for this reign, but yeah, better stuff. More stuff we can recommend here. Yeah. Dangerous Danny Spivey. That man, he's magic every time he's on the screen, except for the first time.
Yeah, steroided. Well, more steroided, much larger Brian Bosworth for sure. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, as always, we are Troubles Wrestling Pod on Instagram and Threads. And then when you go to Blue Sky, we are Troubles Weekly. I know it sucks. Fucking the internet's annoying. And then for you got the greatest screen name of all time.
I'm the JIMDB. I'm on the Blue Sky. I'm on the Threads. I'm on Letterboxd. And I'm also on Dropkicked. Have you heard of Dropkicked?
You are the reason I know about it, and I am going to join today.
It's like Letterboxd, but for wrestling. Yeah. So you can rank matches and shows. I'm not a great rememberer. So it's nice to be able to go in there and update the rankings on the matches I've seen. So when I get to the end of the year, I can say, oh, this is the dope shit. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, that's a cool one. Check it out.
All right. Well, till next time, fucking enjoy and watch something you enjoy instead of bitching about something that you don't.